That's what I like to hear, Jane.
I was thinking of you, Philly. All right, guys, just pop onto your mat. You can kneel down, get comfortable. And we'll start with a couple of neck rolls here for about 30 seconds. So just dropping ear to shoulder, chin to chest, and then opposite ear to shoulder. But 3 big slow circles in each direction. With some nice deep breaths. And one more wherever you're at. Excellent, guys. Bring it into our shoulders next. So we'll go 5 big shoulder circles backwards. Trying to pull those shoulders up to your ears as high as you can, squeezing the scap together and then pulling them down as much as you can. 5 back and then 5 forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lovely, guys. We'll go elbow. So taking fingers onto your shoulders, draw the elbows down by your side, and big circles with those elbows, 5 in each direction. And 5, lovely. And switch, try to open up through the chest and pec area by really pulling those elbows behind. Very nice. Just coming up to your half kneeling position, we're going to go for a nice side stretch here. So hands down by your side. You're going to reach one hand down towards the floor and get a really good stretch here all through your side body. If you want, you can lift that hand up and over. Do that a little bit higher. Lovely. Keep holding. Lovely. Back to center. And we'll take it onto the other side. Keep pushing the hips forward. Keep a nice straight body. Philly, you have a little assistant with you as well today. Lovely, guys. From here, you just want to take your hands onto your hips. Push the hips forward just to take a nice stretch. Kind of down through the front of the body. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Nice long neck. Lovely. Keep holding. Just going for a little 360 stretch here, each side, front body. Keep holding there, guys, but once you're done, take your knees a little bit wide, keep your toes together, send the hips back and down, just come into your child's pose here. Try to reach your arms forward as much as you can. And then push into the palms of your hand to send your hips all the way into your heels. Lovely. A couple of deep breaths. Really reach through that mid to upper back, through your lats. Keep crawling those fingers forward. Lovely. All right, you can come back up to your all fours. I'm going to go through about 1 minute of cat-cow, guys. So hands and knees. You can have a bit of fun here, a little bit of play. Arching and tucking the chin and chest. And you can go side to side in each position, whatever feels good, just 60 seconds of moving around here with some lovely deep breaths. Lovely, another 30 seconds. Think about some side crunches, drawing your shoulder and hip together. And get lovely stretches out through different parts of the back. Okay, and just come to a neutral spine here and make your way through 10 scapula push-ups. So staying on the knees, I'm just going to squeeze my shoulder blades together and push apart. Try to really isolate the move here, especially from the elbows. Try to avoid any bending in the elbows and any additional movement through the head. So make sure you're not sticking your chin out as you squeeze your shoulder blades together. Very nice, guys. When you've done 10, we're going to drop down onto our tummy and come into a nice scorpion stretch. So stretching the front of our chest and pec area. Take that hand slightly above your shoulder, bending the opposite knee, lift that heel to the sky. And then as you twist, I want you to try and take that foot to the back of your straight leg, or the back of the knee. So not way out here, keep it close so you get a nice rotation. Look at those setups. Very nice, Sinead. So your bent knee ideally should be directly up to the ceiling. Lovely. Jackie, can you bring your foot a little bit closer to your straight leg? There you go, and try to, there you go, beautiful. Very nice, guys. 30 more seconds here. Some deep breaths. Very nice. Coming back to your front and taking it into the opposite side. Lovely. So try to get good rotation by bringing that foot to the back of your knee and really twisting that bent knee up to the ceiling. So you're almost using the foot to help you twist more. Excellent, guys, and bring it back to center. So we're just going to go for a mid thoracic stretch here. If you have just a small height, I have my foam roller here. If you have a yoga block or some books, just something to lift the hands off slightly. If not, guys, you can come high on the fingertips. Lovely. So I'm going to come on hands and knees. Take my knees wide as the yoga mat. You can keep your toes together. One hand comes onto the block. If you have a foam roller, actually, it's good because it can roll forward with you. If not, just move the block where you need it to be. So I'm keeping my hips over my knees, taking one hand onto my block. Opposite hand comes on top. I'm going to interlace the fingers and I'm just going to drop my chest through here. Lovely. So I'm starting with my hips over my knees, and we will sit back into this here in a second. Very nice. Staying in the stretch, guys. Just change the hand that's on top. Lovely. Make sure you're not headbutting the floor. Keep your head nice and neutral. Just pushing through the chest. And then we're going to sit those hips all the way back to our heels. You might need to move your block towards you, or your foam roller can roll. And just see where that brings you with your stretch. Reaching forward with your hands as you drop your chest through. And you should feel that all the way in that mid to upper back, in between those shoulder blades, any tightness. So you're pushing your hips all the way back onto your heels. Lovely. Rounding the low back here. And reach forward with your fingertips. So reach, reach, reach as far as you can. The more you can lengthen through your muscles, the more you can stretch them. All right, guys, lovely. So coming up out of that, we're going to stay here on all fours for the next stretch. So I'm just going to reset myself. I'm going to take one hand into my center position here, and then with the opposite hand, reach through all the way as far as I can, and then take that elbow and arm up above my head and look up to the sky. If this feels good, you can take this hand, wrap it around into your hip crease to get a little bit more of a twist here. Or you can keep it to the sky, or keep it on the ground above your head. Whichever feels good. But as you reach through, guys, really reach as far as you can, because that's what's going to stretch through that upper back. Lovely. Very, very nice. So as if someone's pulling your arm to get as much stretch across that upper back. Very nice. So stay here for another 20 seconds. Nice, Jackie. So you can do a few different variations with that hand on top. Beautiful, guys. Okay, bring yourself back to all fours. Take that opposite hand into your center position. And then to get yourself set up, big reach through. Keep reaching until you really can't get any more twist. And then you can adjust that hand over your head and try to brace with the floor to get that little bit of an extra twist. Lovely, and settle into your stretch. And then if it feels good, you can take that hand that's above your head and reach it up to the sky. Or if you want to wrap it around and see if you can reach into the crease of your opposite hip. That should allow you guys, so that opposite hand is almost to find a position that can help you brace or twist into the stretch a little bit deeper.
Are you on your head then, or your shoulder when your other hand comes up?
Say again, Philly?
Like, maybe I'm doing this wrong, but most of my weight is, yeah, you see, I was holding myself up with that arm, I think.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
So I should be able to balance here. I have probably
on your shoulder, kind of.
I have about, I'd say maybe 65% weight on my shoulder and about 35 on my knee. So I'm a bit top heavy. And then this can, when you put the hand on top, it does take a little bit of pressure off your shoulder. So if you lift that hand up and you feel like you've got too much weight coming onto your shoulder, just keep your hand above your head. Again, it depends on kind of your compression. If you can get into a nice kneeling position, you can probably keep a bit more weight on the legs. All right, guys, we'll do 20 more seconds. Lovely, and relax, out you come. So just take a minute kind of to shake it off. I'm going to demo the next movement. You can use a wall here, or if you have a kitchen chair or bench kind of around knee height, that's perfect as well. So I'm going to demo with this bench. I'm going to place my full hand on the edge of my bench, walk my knees back until they're beneath my hips. And then I really want to keep my head in line with my arms. So keep my ears in between my arms, drop my chest. I'm going into a full arch here. And then I'm going to isolate my lower spine by tucking my hips and releasing. Now my shoulders are lifting slightly, but I'm going to try to keep them open and down as I move my way through 10 pelvic tilts. Okay. So find your stretch, and then very gently we're going to tuck and release our tailbone for 10 reps. And as you tuck it, just try to be aware of your shoulder position or your upper back, that it's not lifting too much. And again, just pay attention to the position of your knees. The more you can walk them back under your hips, it'll allow you more kind of space to get that chest through. And Donal, if you can, get the full palm of your hand onto the bench, so all the way through to your wrist. And with all our overhead stretches, guys, that idea of reaching through your shoulders, so you're really extending the arms. Lovely. And again, it's a moving stretch, so just find your groove. If you need to make any adjustments of the knees, think of the space between your hands. Are they too wide? Are they too narrow? And if the pelvic rocks are too much, maybe you just hang out in the stretch. Lovely, Sinead. If you can get a little bit more extension through your elbows for me. There we go. Lovely. Once you've done 10, guys, or if you felt you've done enough, you're just going to relax into the stretch for me for about 45 seconds. Ooh, Donal, it is quite tough. So just find a comfortable stretch here. If you want to move your knees in a little bit, that'll take a bit of intensity out of the stretch. Be mindful not to headbutt the floor, so keep your head in a neutral position. Very nice. And you can completely release the tailbone here. So we're going for full arch in the back, dropping our chest bone through and armpits down to the ground. Very nice, guys. Another 20 seconds. Lovely. And release. Okay, our next stretch we have done once before, and I'm going to give you two options here. So we're looking to get a nice stretch down the sides of our spine at the back of our neck. and even into our upper back. So that kind of position. First option, guys, is just in a kneeling position. You're going to tuck your chin to your chest, interlock your fingers, bring your hands to the back of your head, and just gently apply some pressure downward. And you'll feel that stretch. You can pull your elbows in. And again, controlling the intensity by the amount of pressure that you put on the back of your head with your hands. The next level then, guys, and again, you really want to be careful and just, ease into this. So keeping most of the weight on your knees. I'm going to tuck my chin as much as I can. So I'm trying to get almost towards the back of my head in contact with the floor. And from here, just pushing forward slightly with my knees. And I'm not so much taking any pressure on my head. I'm just moving forward very gently, and it brings a really nice stretch. You feel it almost immediately. It's a very intense kind of burning sensation. So hands are down for support. Tuck the chin as much as you can, really round in. And once your head is in the floor, just push, and I can feel a huge stretch down through the back or sides of my spine. So see which one, guys, feels better for you. Again, you are in control of the pressure that you apply. And if you do take your head onto the floor, you're not trying to put weight on your head, just kind of forward pressure. Lovely. And the one with the hands in the back of the neck, guys, is almost just as effective. Take a couple of deep breaths and hold it for as long as feels good. As I said, it has that kind of intense sensation. So if you need to come out and shake out. Jackie, I'd like to see, so your head is quite far away from your knees. I want you to round over a lot more. So I want a big round back, tuck the chin. See, my head comes quite close to my knees. So I'm here, and then I slightly push forward. So I'm getting as much roundness through my spine as I can. There you go. Very nice. You can give me some feedback on that one at the end of the session. That feeling, for some people, they kind of hate it. They're like, oh.
It's the sicky feeling, kind of.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it's very, but it does give a nice release. Like when you come out of it, I always feel good. All right, guys. So I'll let you just wrap that up whenever you want. We're going to do one extension, and then we'll finish with a nice spinal twist. So coming on to your seated position for me. Just take a little extension stretch here, and then we'll lay down for our last stretch. So you all know this one, guys. Get your fingers as close as feels comfortable. And then you're going to gently lift your hips forward until you have a nice stretch. Think about lifting your chest here, guys. So I don't want you to sink back into your shoulders. Push tall, lift the chest. So you're really supported here. And again, you can keep your knees bent, or you can put them straight in front of you. I just don't have space here. And then your other option is to do some just gentle rocks left to right with your knees. We're going to hang out here, guys, for about 45 seconds. Lovely. If it feels good, guys, maybe move your hips a little bit more forward. Get a bit more distance between hands and hips. If you're rocking the knees, try to take a pause at each side. And again, focus on lifting that chest to the sky. Very nice. Okay, when you're ready, just pick your hips up and walk them back towards your hands gently. And then just give yourself a little hug here because that's so tough on the elbows. Or if you want to just massage the inside of your elbow. All right, guys. And then your final stretch, actually come this way. We're going to lie back, take a nice spinal twist here. So hands out in our T position. We're going to take one knee up to a 90-degree bend. And then with our opposite hand, guide it down and across. And we're just going to hold this stretch today. So keep that knee up in line with your hip. And we've talked about 2 points of contact here. Right now, my knee is in contact with the floor and my opposite shoulder and arm are floating. Okay, and I'm just trying to let gravity bring them to the floor. I can also keep them in contact with the floor. And now my knee is floating, which will bring the stretch lower into my body, maybe into my glutes. So whichever feels good, you can go between the two. And I want you to take some nice deep breaths here. And on your exhale, see if you can sink into that stretch a little bit more. So let's go for 5 long breaths. Lovely. Well, 30 more seconds here. Very nice. When you're ready, guys, you can come back and bring it to the opposite side.